How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about a very interesting and probably the most crazy feature to come out of the new 2024 S650 or 7th gen Ford Mustang. But before we get into today's video, definitely be sure to leave a like down below, subscribe if you're new to this channel, and also click the little bell icon if you're already subscribed to actually get notified when I do post a new video. I post new videos daily, everything from car reviews to automotive news to automotive history videos and a bunch of stuff in between. But anyways, looking at today's topic, the new S650 Mustang, if it kind of flew over your head, it comes with essentially what is like a hydraulic handbrake. Now, it's not a hydraulic handbrake per se. It doesn't kind of function the same way. It's actually electronic, it's not hydraulic. And we're going to be talking about an article in a little bit that kind of goes in some more detail that talks about how it actually functions and where you can find it on and which trim and all that stuff. But for right now, this is really crazy, because ever since electronic emergency brakes or parking brakes have been implemented in cars, we've never really seen anything like this ever. Obviously, with previous cars that have come before, you had the just traditional handbrake with the little thumb lock. But anyone who's into drifting at all knows that a hydro e-brake doesn't have that thumb locks, which obviously makes it a lot more ideal for handbrake turns, sliding, things of that nature, and just generally hooning around. Now, there's a lot of things that I actually really do love about the new S650 Mustang, and if you're new to the channel, I did do a live reaction video when the reveal happens a few weeks ago now, and I think I did another video kind of talking about the different things that I like about the S650. But overall, I think Ford really knocked it out of the park with this new 7th gen Mustang. They didn't change a lot, and honestly, they really didn't need to. Going from the S550 to now the S650, I understand why the name of the two generations are so similar, because essentially all it is a S550 Mustang that received a facelift, a brand new Coyote engine, and a different transmission, and a new interior. But a lot of stuff has kind of been repurposed and re-put into this new generation of the Mustang, and honestly, I am really fine with that. I don't think that Ford should really move fully electric like how Dodge went with their Charger Daytona. I don't think that they should obviously discontinue the Mustang like what Chevy's doing with the Camaro. And overall, the Mustang is a good car to begin with. It's a nice starter car, nice starter enthusiast car that's got a decent amount of power. It's a V8, naturally aspirated V8 with a manual transmission, rear-wheel drive. It's a simple formula for fun. And that being said, it's also a simple formula to hit crowds, so be careful if you own a Mustang. I could say that because, again, I do own a Mustang. But I love the fact that Ford didn't go crazy with it. They didn't make it a hybrid or whatever. But looking at this article actually by musclecarsandtrucks.com, which I'll leave the link down in the description below if you want to check it out more yourself. You can see that this is the actual drift brake that is going to be found in the new Mustangs. Now, aesthetically, I love how they made it look again, a traditional handbrake used to look when vehicles actually had that on there, instead of this little pull or push button for a lot of your electronic parking brakes or handbrakes that they have now. So I like the fact that they have that, but as you can see on it, there's no buttons, there's no lockout. Now, in the initial reveal, the lady that kind of brought it to the table was saying that it has to be in a drift mode specifically to actually be able to use it. So I guess that is kind of its safety or lockout or whatever. But it would be really interesting to see it actually in person and actually in use, because again, no one besides Ford has obviously had their hands on this new Mustang. Now, in this article, you could see it kind of goes down, talks about its other features, its interior and stuff. But right here, Vaughn Gittin Jr. himself actually helped calibrate this performance electronic parking brake with Ford, which I think it's kind of funny that they're still calling it a parking brake, because it's not really a parking brake. Let's be real, it's essentially a drift brake. And it's supposed to be able to, both be utilized by novice drivers and, people that actually know how to drift and everything. But looking into this part of the article right here, this is pretty interesting because it essentially states that this like drift brake is only going to be available in the performance pack or the performance trim of these new Mustangs. So what's interesting about these performance pack or performance trim Mustangs is that this drift brake is essentially going to be available in them, and they come in both the Mustang GT and the EcoBoost models as well. So you can have a little 4-cylinder Mustang with a drift brake on it, or obviously a more traditional V8 with the Mustang GT. Now, looking at, again, this little section of the article right here, here's the other things that are to be coming with the performance pack for those GTs and EcoBoost, and it's basically a front tower brace, a limited slip differential in the rear, and a Magna Ride active suspension with wider tires, a little bit bigger brakes, and brake ducts and Recaro seats. So I love the fact that, you know, it's coming with a limited slip differential. I think that was standard, or maybe that came in like the performance trim for the S550s. So that's really nothing new. Again, Ford hasn't really brought anything crazy to the table. But this new drift stick is like the new kind of like party trick for this next generation of the Mustang. And I'm all for it. I think that it's kind of crazy that Ford's putting this in a factory vehicle. I don't know if this has ever really been done before, and I really hope that like no customers get into an accident or whatever and try to like sue Ford and there's any problems with this being in Mustangs in the future. But I think it's a really cool addition. I think that other manufacturers, specifically domestic manufacturers, are looking at Ford and seeing what they did with the Mustang reveal and seeing the amount of kind of praise and positive feedback that they've got from the general public, and essentially like just not changing that much. Like, the Mustang's already a good car. Modern Camaros, modern Chargers and Challengers, they're already all pretty good cars, and you don't have to like go like all out and completely radicalize a next generation of a vehicle if it's already succeeding. If it's not broke, don't fix it. So all in all, that's pretty much just gonna be it for today's video. I still am a huge fan that they have, you know, a manual transmission option as well in these S650 Mustangs, but by far, like, without a doubt in my mind, the most radical thing in this new gen is this like electronic parking brake drift stick that they're including in the performance trim of the new Mustangs. Let me know what you guys think about it down in the comments below, whether or not you think it's really cool, or you think it's pretty dumb to include this in like a factory vehicle where people are, it's ultimately going to cause at least a few people to crash in these new Mustangs, especially when you consider the added power with the 4th gen Coyote engine in that, and again, the fact that it's a Mustang. But that's it for me today. Like I said before at the beginning of the video, definitely be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications down there. All that stuff really does help me out a ton as a smaller YouTuber. But thank you for sticking to the end of today's video. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one. If you enjoyed today's video, click on either of these links right here to watch a similar video from this channel, or click on the little circle link right there to actually subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. I do appreciate all the support, but thank you for sticking to the end of this video, and I hope you have a fantastic day.